And I believe we are live! Good day, my dear fellow friends. My name is Raven Marine, aka Thunburn1, and welcome to another thuncast, where today it is episode... What was it, like 15 or something? It's kind of been a very long time, to be fairly honest. Oh yes, I am correct. It is 15. Again, I probably haven't been saying this much as often, but as you all know, my videos have been quite slow, and I have been absent for a couple days now. Due to which, in IRL purposes, I am, trying my very hardest to basically keep my promises nowadays. But however, with this sort of break, well, not break, just sort of overworking of some sort, I have been taking some time and initiative to keep my ideas and try to make something for the Discord that I'm making. After some suggestions, I believe I'm ready to go full sendent with the Discord that I'm making, but requires some assistance. So if anything, if you want to help me with the setup of the Discord, DM me and I should be able to let you in here so you can help me out. What bots should I bring in here and what things I should add? Okay, with that being said, we have a special guest here. A guest who's actually a Scout Sergeant within the DA. I give you the man, the myth himself, Grumpy. Do tell me, Grumpy, how was your day?
It's been alright. Sat around, did fuck all today. Sounds it's about as good as a day gets.
Ah, yes. Well, above all others, today was actually a wonderful day to actually do this, so instead of, dismissing it, which I mostly do a lot due to some of the work problems I would have to do every day, let us continue with the thuncast. So, you have two things that you would like to do. Actually, you have to choose one. Would you like to be interviewed, or would you like to talk about something random about the IOM group?
Preferably interviewed because I have nothing better to say.
Alright. Oh, and by the way, before we start, these videos will not be edited in any sort of way in order to capture the funny and interesting moments of the thuncast and the thuncast guests. And also, since you are Scout Sergeant, I believe you are aware that you are not supposed to be revealing any sort of important information on these very thuncasts. Are you aware?
Yeah, I'm aware.
Okay, that is wonderful. Alright. First question. How did you find the IOM community? Or community in general?
I was actually in another really shitty up and coming group for it's basically just a Milsim thing. It's fucking really shit in the gay. But a guy in it, I think his name was like Raniklam or something. Something like that. He's like, oh yeah, you like Warhammer? You should join this this Warhammer group. And it's all history from there. I fucking joined that shit. Dedicated like a week off to it, and then yeah.
You enjoyed it. Okay.
Yeah.
Once part of a group that you didn't like, and therefore going into a sort of shit show, to pardon my language, and all of a sudden, a guy just comes in and just says, you like Warhammer? You says, sure, gives you a link and joins. And with the further experiences and couple of months being around, you truly had adapted and evolved to your... Could you call this place... paradise for you?
Paradise?
Well,
I wouldn't go as far to say that Caldiga is paradise. But it's definitely better than most like most Robots games. And also I figured out who it was. It's Rani Kalam, Sergeant. he's a sergeant in the Astromal Arm.
Hmm.
So shout out to that guy.
Okay. Well, if you hear that, a shout out to you, my dear fellow friend. You know what? Glad to have you here within the IOM group. And also, I intend to use words that would be, well, let's just say, over dramatically explaining and how people would love the Caldega experience. So I do apologize for that, if that would, oh yes, if that would, like, sort of say any bad terms.
That's right. It's no bar. No bar. No bar, pal.
Alright. Second question. What's your journey like in the IOM community, or community in general?
What's my journey like? Like
Yes.
how I joined and stuff like that.
Yes, how you joined, how you became the DA Scout Sergeant that we see before you.
Well, it started. Well, we obviously know how I got in here. We just talked about that.
Yeah.
But basically, I joined the Estremal Tarum, did an MT tryout. Didn't really know what it was, other than I did know from being in game that Kasserkin looked really badass, and that is why I went Cadian. I was gonna go DKK, but seeing a guy in game is like, damn, that guy looks badass as fuck. I want to be that guy. So I showed up to one of the tryouts. Did it first try because I'm just that good, obviously. And then from there, I actually spent way longer than I wanted to as a recruit. Did because I honestly I had no fucking clue how to rank up in that shit for like a week or something. I was like, what the fuck? How the fuck do I get these Catholic patrols under my belt? But after a while, I figured it out, and after a while, I became a corporal. Hosted some shitty patrols that a small amount of people showed up for because I think I was hosting them too late during the day, or maybe too early. I don't know. And then one day I was on inspection and they called out my name and I was an aspirant. And from there, it's just Dark Angel stuff.
Fascinating.
Yeah. Can you tell
Wait.
I'm really shit explaining stuff?
No, it's fine. Each and every bit of detail that you have simply explained to me had truly give us an insight and a good story of how you joined how you joined and actually had a glorious journey of becoming a DA. Wait, quick question. When you immediately joined, like you said, the story that talks about how you find it, you were a guardsman, right? And the
Yeah.
first training that you found was the MT tryout, and you were able to
Um.
pass that.
Well, I did do a few patrols. I think I was a leading guardsman or something. So I had actually dedicated like a week or some shit, and I managed to get leading guardsman. And then the first MT tryout I went to, I passed. So yeah, pretty much it. I wasn't a guardsman for very long.
Wow.
I think in that regards I have been pretty lucky
Hmm.
to manage to push my way up through the ranks faster than most people. Because I think some people manage to get caught in ranks and shit, which really does suck.
Yeah, but really fascinating enough. Early bloomer yourself and an early bloomer from me. I was heavy weapons specialist. I kinda was inside the group for a good long while to the point where the Grenadier trials had opened. And when I at least joined, I believe I got it first try, or was it second try or third try? I do not remember as fluently, but I think I did it first try or second try, for what I can remember. However, truly fascinating upon your journey. Third
Yeah.
question. What is your position like in the IOM community?
What do you mean, like what I do is
Yes, as a
brother
scout
sergeant.
sergeant.
Uh, it's brother sergeant now actually.
As long as you're
Don't wanna
not,
brag.
as long as you're not revealing any sort of important information that is not known to the public or the group as yet, then that conversation would be completely fine. Or not
Yeah.
fine. I might be. I
Well,
might be.
I don't know. I don't know. I don't think my position is all that much different from an NCO's position in the Ashmore Tarm. I basically do the same stuff I was when I was an MT corporal. I host patrols, schedule them. I think the main difference was when I was a scout sergeant. Obviously setting up trials and making sure people were up to date with the codex and stuff like that. So I mean, it's not all that much different from what a sergeant would do in IOM.
Hmm,
Sorry, the Ashmore Tarm.
hmm.
Obviously, there's some extra stuff. Like I do keep an eye out for people like in DA breaking rules and shit. I mean, it almost never happens, so you know. But I wouldn't say it's all that much different, to be honest with you.
Hmm. Okay. Really good to know. Really good to know. Difference just being. Wait. If you would have been able to tell the difference, would you say as being a sergeant, I mean scout sergeant for the DA, means you're able just to control like the most elite unit of all time, but they're in small numbers on some events, and then when you're a grenadier, or just simply an MT, you just mostly control more people who are more people and just let's just
I will
say
say,
improve them along the way.
wait, what do you mean? Like improving like the guard when I was on
Yes,
MT?
yes.
I wouldn't say I was really improving people when I was in the guard, to be honest. I'd kind of just lead them around like lost lambs sometimes during patrols. So I don't know, I wouldn't say I was making them better. I will say though, leading MT and Ashmore Tarm is a lot different to leading people who are in DA. I would say it's a lot easier in the DA comms. People actually do tend to do what they're told, and also like clear comms. The comms aren't super cluttered. I feel like I get headaches sometimes when I'm in AM patrols. But yes, I would say it's definitely a lot easier in DA.
I would honestly agree to that. Agree to the full-on command and the difference between who would follow the best orders between Grenadier or DA.
Yeah,
Like, when we
I mean,
were to be fairly honest, if you kind of would have looked back when you were merely but a guardsman or just a grenadier or Kazakan recruit, we would spend the majority of our time in the IOM server, and in the end, we were just fighting with our fellow comrades. It was used. We were at least used to it, right?
yeah, yeah.
By then when we became DA, it feels like we have ascended to the point where we don't need IOMVC, where we would spend the majority of our time in the DAVC instead of being in the IOMVC. And by then when we are forced or go in there with go yes, by going in there worthily, we just intend to feel, well, more frustrated than ever to realize that there is no unity, there is no organization between these units that have no idea what they're doing, and therefore you would just have the full mental capacity to actually yell at them just to let them be quiet, and you should be, well, yes, for them to be quiet and just say, guys are supposed to be better than this. You guys are supposed to know what you're doing. But in the end, we can't even say that due to our positions. We are not that commissar. Know that high-ranking position who can control these. Let's just say, not calling them bad out or anything. Mindless warriors.
I mean, like I do agree that it is a bit frustrating sometimes when you see like Asher Militarm being like arseholes and shit. Because I've been told to to shut up before by a guardsman after I told him to stop speaking at a team chat, because it's just a rule in general. But I don't know. I wouldn't say we don't need AMVC. I would say that it's hard to justify as a DA to sit in Ashramel Town VC with all like I think like sometimes like 20 other people. Because like as a brother sergeant, it's nearly impossible for me to speak over that many people to get my Astartes where they need to be. It just makes it a bit more difficult. So normally we end up just going back to DAVC. It's not
Yeah,
really like it's
and
not really like I'm better than you. It's more of just a separate leadership really. It's the same way that AdMech don't really sit in Astra Militarum patrol VCs when they're doing their patrols. At least I don't think they do.
yeah, and mostly in the end, that's why our VCs, our VCs were invented for that specific purpose. In well, the mind of other leaders, they would mostly force us to join the AMVC, not just to learn, well, not just for punishment, but just to learn the valuable lesson of toleration. Am I not wrong?
I wouldn't say you're wrong though.
But that is for some leaders who would often see it like that way. Like we would, like if we can remember, Divine would mostly do that all the time, and we would never know why, right?
Yeah,
However, really good talk on that topic. Though that was a strive away topic from the interview, but something to at least get a sort of feel. All right.
yeah, yeah.
Three more questions to go though. Fourth question. What are you going to do in the near future in the IOM community?
In the future, I'm not sure. I think my next step is definitely to go for veteran sergeant, but that could take a while. Um, I do eventually want to end up in Astartes high command, but we'll need to see how that shakes out because they will obviously be looking for the best, you know.
True.
Obviously, DA itself look for the best. Um, I just need to work my way up the ranks. Eventually, I could become a brother captain, but I don't know. It's just can't really tell until I'm either there or not there. You know. I would,
Well,
however, down the line like to be in Death. It's Death Watch? Yeah, yeah, Death Watch. That'd be really cool, but only after I do what I want to do in DA.
ah, that is a good eye to keep out. Simple plans like that can easily be excelled and can just be easily completed if you put your heart on it. Now, in the end, it may be difficult along the road, but as long as you have that simple motivation that keeps you going, you're able to do anything. So, good future ahead of you, Grumpy. Alright.
Here's hoping.
Fifth question, my bad. What do you think of the IOM community? Or
I
community in
think.
general?
What do I think of it? I
Yes.
think I think it definitely runs much, much, much better than any other group I've ever been on before because other groups they seem like just a thing that people create so that they can be in charge and not really for the game or itself because a lot of games I think I think it's kind of like it'd be an injustice to say that they're similar to IOM, but they're like really the only sort of comparison I can really make. Like border games, like I, like I don't really want to say that IOM is a border game. I would say that the groups try and like run similar, except there's nothing to do on a border game except wait for people to get on and try and fuck with you, or and then that's it. I like that this game has multiple factions led by people, and it's not just one faction like they'll either wait for people to get in game to fuck with them, or maybe they'll ask another group to come raid them. Because I think that's really boring, and I think that's something this game actually has done right. That they have chaos. It's basically its own separate thing from IOM. Sorry, Astral Tarm, and then they also have their Chaos Marines. It's a separate thing from DA. I like that much better. than any other group I've ever been in, because they end up dying within like 6 months or some shit. Sometimes
Ah,
sooner.
very well said from you, Grumpy. You're saying so good and so proud of what we made. Well, sorry, what they have made here, and truly we have our kind words to say here and here about it. But
100%.
there's one thing that I would say is that even though that we have a good, we still have our flaws. Do you agree or disagree?
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, like at the end of the day, every group is never going to be perfect. You know what I mean? Like there are obviously issues with how certain things are done, and like obviously, I mean, like basically, Discord has its limitations, Roblox has its limitations, and the people running and also just everybody inside of IOM has their own limitations. Like I don't think we'll ever have anything properly perfect to where there's no issues. I don't think there'll ever be a time where people don't complain about balancing. Because I mean, at the end of the day, this is just another game. You know what I mean? This is a game that's being run better than most others on Roblox. But like, I would say it's comparable to possibly like other games, like maybe like Battlefield, like where the balancing or other games that have the same sort of system. Like actually, Hell Let Loose would be a good example. Um, Players tend to debate over the balancing of the British team on Hell Let Loose and saying that it's underpowered and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, they still have to conform to what was historically used. Kind of like this group's limitations, so where like it can only give us what that faction has or would use in the books and lore.
Hmm.
I
All
think
right.
I kind of went off on a tangent there and started to ramble,
No,
but
no, 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 no. That is absolutely fine, and therefore provides a excellent example on what it all means. Truly, well done, Grumpy. And there's nothing wrong to be about it, anyway. All right. Final question, which is the sixth question. What is the one thing that you would want in the IOM community? Now, do note that this
in
one
the
thing.
IOM.
Yes. Now do note that this one thing can be anything that you want, but here's the thing: it can only be one thing within the Warhammer 40k universe. Now do choose wisely. It can even be a faction if you wanted to.
I already know. I already know. Everybody's gonna hate this, but Black Templars all the fucking way. I know that. I know that. I know that. I know that the group has a bad history with them, and I know they don't like them. But you know, you know what? You can suck my fucking balls. I
Oh,
love Black Templars.
you know,
I love them.
you already done see my profile. I'm a Black Templar fan myself,
Yeah.
but god damn. Okay,
Everybody hates them in this group.
man.
They're religious zealots. They're religious. They're too. So is the rest of the fucking IOM. Sorry, just like the entire Imperium. Shut the fuck up.
Like not
But
gonna
like,
lie, I mostly don't pay attention to any of this stuff. I just the moment when I full on joined this group, I actually asked Mac to see if they were Black Templars, and he just said no. Apparently, this group hates them
yeah,
due to the history, and that was the only time that I
yeah.
asked. The only
You see,
time that I
like
asked him.
the main issue I think people have with them is that they're overly religious, and I think people seem to think they're retarded with their combat tactics and shit. But their combat tactics are based on like, I have a bigger dick than you. I'm gonna fucking fight you head on. I like that, and it's the same sort of doctrine as like DKK. But for some reason, people like DKK, but they hate the shit out of fucking Black Templars because DKK are overly religious, still making penance for something that happened fucking like 600 years ago, like multiple generations ago, you know. But apparently they're okay, but not Black Templars. Like, bruh, shut the fuck up. But whatever.
In the end, we don't even have to at least adapt to the certain Templar culture. We may have it in the Codex, and we will surely express it under the meal. onto the field of battle. But in the end, it would only be the leader who will truly guide the Templars to either victory or for shame. And I believe, and if I'm correct, for what I can understand, the Templars within this group didn't have that good leader, and therefore went a full-on free-wielded spirit. And this is just me
Yeah.
either making an assumption or correct guess here, because up to this day, I have not figured out why they still hate Templars, and they wouldn't even want it to be on the full-on selection list if like another chapter has to be replaced with another chapter. Regardless, I see your point. I see your point heavily, and I would agree. But I would agree. But in the end, we just have to come to terms and see. We just have to
Yeah.
come to terms and see. We may never know, though, that they might be
The
adding that or
It's
working
true.
on that.
I mean, at the end of the day, if people don't want it, then we're not gonna get it. But
Yeah.
I do think that if they had the right person in charge and the person in charge was picking the right people to be a part of it, then it could be a lot better than they've had in the past. And like I do understand that it attracts the wrong kind of people to the group. I can see that. But like as it is, I don't think it's gonna be attracting. Honestly, like I feel like people on Roblox as is, it doesn't get much worse.
Yeah, that's
Because
true.
at the
Besides,
end of
you
the day, like
already.
we do have idiots join us and shit,
Yeah.
and like the idiots that try to join and then want to join Black Templars, they're never gonna get there. You know what I mean?
Yup.
Because like it's the same with Dark Angels. People join the group and try and join Dark like how do I become Dark Angel? How do I become Dark Angel? But then like
But
after they find out that it takes more than 2 weeks of their life, they're
they
like,
just
nah,
nah.
fuck
They
this
just
shit.
leave.
I
They
don't wanna
just
be here.
leave entirely. The thing is,
Exactly.
people do not understand. People do not understand. It's not okay. Let me put this in this way. If you end up asking the developer or the owner that you would want to become a Templar or a full-fledged Space Marine, and he would happen to say yes, whoop-de-doo, you somehow became a full-on Space Marine, basically devoted, basically going to be there for only no, only for one, be active for one day, and that's it.
Exactly. That's why we don't do that.
Yes, because in
Because
the end you'll ask for it, but in the end you will not know the lesson that you have obtained, the lesson that you became a guardsman, the lesson when you became a grenadier, the lesson when you even became a sergeant or full-on commissar. Each and every role within the community and group can truly tell a story for you, and if you avoid all those stuff, then what's the point of becoming a full-on space marine when you've never experienced it?
yeah, I mean, like if we just gave everybody Astartes as well, it's like
They
or
would
like
only
like
be
people who
they would
wanted
only be
Astartes,
active for
they'd
one.
have Astartes. Yeah, they'd be
Yeah.
active for a short amount of time because they've already reached their goal at that point.
But
And
I
if
will
it's that easy to get to the goal, then like why even bother trying to go for other things? Because I mean, it's either gonna be just as easy or
true.
fucking easier.
But although I will say to this 1% of you who's mostly listening, and for some of you that's like out there and not listening, genuinely it's considered as both. But if that scenario actually happened to you, and you actually committed, you actually fought battles with your fellow brothers, you were actually able to make friends along the way, even people that you intentionally skipped those potential classes in order for you to get to you today, and therefore last up to 5 years being inside this group without retiring, then I can give you a full pat on the back and say congratulations. You've been here for 5 years and skipped any faction. But I will have this. I mean, sorry, every process of becoming a DA or just Space Marine in general, and then I would just full on kneel in front of you and say, "How do you feel now? Am I making sense here?"
Yeah, you're making sense.
Though regardless, this is why that we have these certain This is why that we have these certain procedures as the law intended. Plus, what it means to at least become a warrior. In the end, you make friends, you have glorious battles, you obtained each and every rank as your physical achievement, and you're able to gloat about it to yourself. In the end, and within all that, once you're done, once you have achieved it, you'll still serve, you'll still fight, and you'll still be motivated to continue on, knowing that life will be difficult here, and you can find sanctuary here in the Discord.
Yep.
Grumpy, full on.
Yep.
This was a full-on conversation of a lifetime, and this was supposed to be needed to talk about. Because in the end, you would have people who would DM other people talking about how they're supposed to be getting a DA, and they would get so demotivated to the point where they only need to go through 2 separate processes in order for them to become a DA. A Space Marine. In the end, that's their only downfall. Just to give up knowing that this, for what they believe in, is impossible. However, enough rambling upon me, and you have answered all the questions very well.
Oh, that's all?
Yes, that was all. In the end, that last conversation was a full-on eye-opener, and therefore sometimes giving questions. Yeah, and therefore gave a full-on proper opinion. Hopefully, newcomers and new viewers can actually watch these videos and therefore actually really get a good idea on what this group is. You know what? I'm actually going to put this on my recommended list for some people who want to know more about the group.
Awesome. Yeah, however, I think we should start a petition to convince Algol, Black Templars. Come on.
Maybe one day, but we have to get Algol in a good mood. However, you have answered all 6 questions very well, and this has already been like 32 minutes. Okay, we shall actually be calling this to an end because we have to do something very important that shall surely secure the reputation of the DA. You all have a wonderful day and enjoy yourself. Grumpy, do you have anything? Do you have anything? Last pardoning words to say?
Other than thanks for having me, not really. Yeah, it's been nice.
Really well said. Oh, and by the way, Grumpy, I forgot to say that some of the developers actually would listen to some of these podcasts and therefore get a better idea.
Fuck.
Yes, give a better idea on what they should add. In the end, it would probably never happen.
I would like to say the developers are amazing. You guys are great. Nothing bad to say about you guys. Fuck you guys. Fuck you. I'm kidding. I'm joking.
We're just joking.
I'm joking.
We're just joking in the end. You all have a wonderful day. Enjoy yourselves. Do note Grumpy's words and do note my words. In the end, we do this for a wonderful cause. A cause is simply bring our dreams into reality. Remember, everything is not impossible. You all have a good day, and farewell. Log end.